Right now, something big is unfolding, and whether you're in the north, the south, or watching from outside Nigeria, this is one of those stories you really want to sit with till the very end. It's not just noise, it's not just politics, and it's definitely not a random online argument. This is about power, security, opportunity, and where Nigeria is headed in a fast-changing world. So before you scroll away, tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's walk through this calmly, clearly, and with sense. Here's the situation. Nigeria has quietly but steadily been opening up more doors to the outside world. Not just friendly handshakes, but serious conversations around security, trade, technology, and military cooperation. Countries that matter on the global stage are paying closer attention, and that includes Turkey and the United States. These are not small players. When they lean in, people notice. And when they lean in toward Nigeria, it automatically sparks strong reactions at home. Turkey has been showing growing interest in deeper cooperation with Nigeria, especially in areas like defense equipment, training, and industrial partnerships. At the same time, the United States has stepped up its diplomatic and security engagement, driven by the reality that West Africa plays a huge role in global stability, trade routes, and economic growth. So Nigeria suddenly finds itself in a spotlight where powerful nations want closer ties, and that spotlight comes with both promise and pressure. Now, anytime Nigeria moves closer to big global powers, debate is guaranteed. That's just how it works. Some people see opportunity knocking loudly. Others hear warning bells. And many are simply asking the most important question of all: how does this affect ordinary Nigerians trying to live, farm, trade, travel, and raise families in peace? This is where the conversation in the north really heats up. Some northern leaders and commentators are openly welcoming deeper security and military cooperation. Their argument is straightforward and emotional. Banditry, kidnapping, arms trafficking, and cross-border crime have devastated communities for years, especially near the Sahel where borders are porous and armed groups move fast. They say Nigeria cannot continue fighting modern, well-armed threats with outdated tools and limited intelligence. In their view, advanced surveillance, better training, intelligence sharing, and international support could finally tilt the balance in favor of ordinary people who just want to sleep without fear. But not everyone is clapping. Other northern voices are urging caution, and they are not whispering about it either. They are saying, yes, Nigeria needs help, but Nigeria must not lose control of its own destiny in the process. They want transparency. They want to know what exactly is being signed, what equipment is coming in, who controls it, how long the commitments last, and what Nigeria is giving in return. Their fear is dependency. Their fear is hidden costs that only show up years later. And their message is clear: partnerships are fine, but sovereignty is not negotiable. What makes this even more intense is that this debate isn't happening in a vacuum. Some political commentators have started linking it to global power shifts and the influence of figures like Donald Trump, arguing that major powers are changing how they deal with Africa. Instead of distant diplomacy, they are moving closer, faster, and more strategically. That has led to talk that African countries may soon face subtle pressure to choose sides or carefully balance relationships between competing global interests. So when people say the North is divided, it doesn't mean the region is breaking apart. It means opinions are sharply split. And honestly, that's not strange. Security and sovereignty are emotional issues. Every leader wants to be seen as protecting their people first. Every community wants real solutions, not empty promises. Supporters of these new partnerships are pushing a strong narrative. They say insecurity has chased farmers from fields, scared investors, and trapped young people in cycles of poverty. According to them, modern threats require modern responses. Better technology can mean safer highways. Better intelligence can mean fewer attacks. Stronger cooperation can mean communities finally breathing again. They also stress the economic angle, saying that increased trade, factories, infrastructure projects, and shared industrial knowledge can create jobs and give young Nigerians alternatives to crime and desperation. On the flip side, Critics are reminding everyone that international agreements often look beautiful on paper. Big words, shiny promises, impressive press releases. But the real test is what happens on the ground. They want Nigerian companies involved. Nigerian workers trained. Nigerian institutions strengthened. Not a situation where everything is controlled from outside while locals remain spectators. They are calling for deals that build capacity, not dependence. There's also a deeper cultural layer to this conversation, especially in the north. Northern Nigeria has centuries of history tied to trade routes, religious scholarship, and cross-border relationships. So some leaders insist that any foreign partnership must respect that heritage and local identity. For them, security isn't just about weapons and drones. It's about trust, culture, and community legitimacy. As the debate grows, media houses, online commentators, elders, youths, and everyday citizens are all adding their voices. And this is where things can easily get distorted. Short clips, dramatic headlines, and emotional posts can make it look like chaos or total confrontation, when in reality it's a serious, ongoing national discussion. Loud does not always mean violent. Argument does not always mean division. Another layer you can't ignore is the broader global competition playing out in Africa. Turkey, the United States, China, and others are expanding their presence through investments, training programs, and security cooperation. Nigeria, being one of Africa's biggest players, naturally becomes a focal point. That puts heavy responsibility on Nigerian leaders. They must welcome help that truly helps, while guarding independence fiercely. And that balancing act is exactly what's creating tension, questions, and passionate opinions. Some elders and community voices are also shifting the focus back home, saying foreign partnerships alone will not solve everything. They are calling for stronger community policing, better education for youth, real support for agriculture, and honest governance at local levels. Their belief is simple but powerful: security grows where justice, jobs, and opportunity exist. Meanwhile, younger political voices are pushing back against fear. They argue that the world is already interconnected and Nigeria cannot afford to isolate itself. In their view, refusing to engage advanced economies could slow development, limit access to technology, and leave Nigeria behind in a competitive global system. So what you're watching is not a movie with heroes and villains. It's a complex national conversation about direction, balance, and trust. How open should Nigeria be? How firm should local control remain? How fast should benefits reach ordinary people in villages and cities? That's why this story is pulling so much attention and emotion. Everyone wants safety. Everyone wants progress. Everyone wants dignity. And as meetings continue between government officials, regional leaders, and international partners, Nigerians are watching one thing closely: transparency. They want clear communication, visible benefits, and respect for local priorities. Some analysts believe that if handled properly, these partnerships could strengthen border security, reduce illegal arms flow, improve training, and slowly make communities safer. Others warn that Nigeria has signed many agreements before that never translated into real change for everyday people. So the demand now is simple: show us results. At its core, this is a debate about Nigeria's future path in a changing world. Strong arguments, sharp words, and intense discussions are part of democracy. What matters is whether leaders listen, act responsibly, and deliver real improvements. So stay tuned. Keep your mind open. And keep watching, because this conversation is far from over, and how it unfolds will shape Nigeria for years to come.